Fight Fan Foe Show. This is episode 5. I'm your host, Foe. And I'm using my phone as a light so that you can see me better because my room's dark as hell. Anyways, let's get right into it. First fight. This is Fight Night Allen versus Costa. Mezekil Costa versus Arnold Allen. The Brit versus the Dalmatian. First fight, though, we got Shauna Bannon. She hails from Ireland. And she's facing Nicole Calamari. Never heard of her. She was a big prospect, but then she kind of hit a wall, I feel like. So let's see what happens. Funny thing is, this fight is probably going to be more competitive than Ronda Rousey versus Gina Carano, which is saying something. That's headlining a card. This is opening a card. But the UFC they're fucking kicking themselves because they lost that opportunity, right? Ronda is tripping over there. I mean, if she really believes all that shit she's saying, maybe she does have brain trouble, which is nothing to laugh about. So that's sad that she's fighting with brain trouble, but whatever. I'm smacked. I'm just talking shit at this point. Let's move it along. Daniel Perez versus Luis Gurul. Never heard of either one. So let me do some research right quick. We got Daniel Perez, 17-7, coming from Spain. Another Spanish fighter. Don't see a whole lot of those. He's got 7 KOs, 6 subs, 1 win in the UFC, 2 losses. His last loss was against Andre Lima. I don't know why I don't remember this. Victor Altamirano he beat, and then he lost to Jafel Filio. Yeah, I don't know anything about this guy, which is rare because I watch every UFC event. And on the other hand, he's fighting the American Luis Gurul. Guy looks like Miles fucking dude who did a bunch of coke that one time. I forget his name. He's 10-3 though, and his last fight was 3 losses: out in Korea, Jesus Aguilar, and Ode Osborne. This guy has never won in the UFC. He's lost his first 3, and they're giving him a 4th fight. Holy shit. Luis Gurul has to win here, guys, or he's probably not going to be around much longer. So for that, I'm going to go with Daniel, with the Spanish guy. Oh, yeah, I didn't even give my pick for the first fight. Shauna Bannon, I think. And then, we're a bit disorganized this show, guys. But bear with us. Yeah, I got Daniel Perez. Now moving on to fight number 3. We got Alice Ardeline versus Polyana Viana. Man, I love Polyana. I'm a simp for her. She's just a beautiful woman. I would love to see her get a win because she's coming off of 3 fucking losses. Jacqueline Amarim, Jillian Robertson, which is no slouch there, Yasmin Lucindo, she's also a beast. So, you know what? This is a good matchup. But I still think I don't think the fight IQ is really there for Polyana, sadly. She looks like a model. I mean, she shouldn't even be fighting, but sadly, I don't think the IQ is there. She seems to just can't really make things happen. To be fair, her opponents have been a lot better than her, so she could upset me, and the fan in me hopes that she does. But moving on to fight number 4. You got Andre Petrosky, Cody Brundage. This is some low-level fights so far. Just saying. These are like the early prelims, so it makes sense. But yeah, Petrosky, Brundage, 2 guys who are like, you think they're going to get cut anytime they lose, and they just keep losing, but then they'll win, and they'll surprise you a lot. It's crazy. They're not getting walking papers, so to speak, but they are pretty much like, this is the fight against the gatekeepers at middleweight, to be honest. And you know what? I think Petrosky, if he can use better fight IQ with his wrestling and grappling, I think he can get a boring decision over Brundage. But I don't know. Brundage, props to the guy. He fights a ton, and something to be said for all that experience. Might pay off. But Andre Petrosky's fights pretty much just as much. So 13-5 versus 11-9. Yeah, I'm kind of leaning Trotsky. Fuck it. It's just the guy loses a lot, like so stupidly. That's why I don't want to really pick anybody in this fight. But if I was a bettor, yeah, I would go with Petrosky. All right, moving on. We have Ketlin Vieira versus Jacqueline Cavalcanti. Ketlin Vieira is 15-5. Cavalcanti's 10-1. Let's check them out, guys. So you got Ketlin Phenomenal Vieira 15-5. Coming off of, damn, she's got 9 wins in the UFC. That's impressive. 5 losses. Coming off a loss to Norma Dumont, who put on the most hard to watch fight against, what was her name? Jocelyn Edwards. Jocelyn, I think it is. That was so hard to watch. I mean, she didn't show up to fight at all. She just was smiling, dancing, and trying not to get hit. Like, what the fuck? Are you a fighter or are you a dance? Anyway, moving on. She's coming off an L to Norma Dumont. But before that, she beat Macy Chasson. And then on the other hand, you got Cavalcanti's coming off of, holy shit, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fight win streak. Myra Bueno Silva, Julia Avila, Nora Cornell, Josiane Nunes. So not the craziest names. I think Vieira is going to be too much for her. I think she gets her hype stopped in this next one. Because Vieira's a beast. She just, she got out danced probably by Norma. Anyway, moving on, guys. This is making me think. Somebody said that UFC having to do so many events per year is forcing them to have a lot of low level skill. And yeah, like this next fight, Tommy Gant versus Artur Minev. Never heard of either one of these guys. Tommy Gant's 11-0. Artur's 7-0. It's coming off of a Adam Livingston guillotine choke. I don't know anything about this guy. 5 KOs, 5 subs. He's American, black dude, Tommy Gant Jr. He's on a 16 win streak. He's 11-0. That must be counting his amateur record. Then you got Artur Minev, 7-0. The Headhunter. Let's see who's he's fought. Nobody. All amateurs. Or Fury pros, but you know what I'm saying. So yeah, this is a super green fight right here. I'm just gonna go with the guy who's 11-0. He's done it a little bit more. He's been undefeated a little bit longer. Hopefully that means he's better. Tommy Gant, whoever the fuck you are, bro, I'll pick you. And this one. Now, moving on. Next fight. You got Tuco Tokos against Ivan Özlin. I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse. Huh? Capiche? Alright, that's enough of that. I don't know shit about either besides Ivan Erslin's a fucking monster. I remember that much. Holy shit, though. Erslan's coming off of 3 losses. Jimmy Crute, Navajo Sterling, and Iwan Kutalaba. All beasts. That's crazy. He's got 3 fights in the UFC and he lost them all, but he fucking was entertaining as shit in all of them. That's probably why he's still around. TBH. Let's see what this Tuco Tacos guy's about. I never heard of him. Right, so he's coming off a win against Junior Tafa. He also lost to Navo Sterling and Umar C. So interesting. You know what? I think Ersland, just for the MMA gods, because we can't have this guy getting cut from the UFC. He's just too entertaining. So I think his violence pays off for him in this one, and he finds a KO in brutal fashion. Let's go, Ivan Erslan. Moving on. Now we got Nikolai Veretennikov versus Chaos Williams. Should be a good, entertaining fight. Veretennikov's 10 KOs, 1 sub. Coming off a win against Nico Price. I think Chaos Williams destroys Nico Price. But he's got a loss to Punale Soriano. Probably used wrestling against him. Francisco Prado, he beat. That's impressive. Lost to Danny Barlow and Austin Vanderford. And Michael Morales. No slouch there. And then you got Chaos on the other hand. Chaos is always fun to watch, but his fight IQ is not really there. And he doesn't do any leg kicks. He's just straight up hands. And this guy Veretennikov is probably way more, his technique and skills are more polished, more he does everything right. I think that'll probably keep his composure. He might take some heat from Chaos early, but if he can survive, I think his composure will get him the eventual win there. Chaos coming off 3 losses against Andreas Gustafsson. Yeah, that's a similar guy. That German dude who just kind of ran through Chaos. I think he's a lot tougher than Nikolai Veretennikov, but yeah, I think skill-wise, Veretennikov should be able to get this one done. But I'm a fan of Chaos, so I wouldn't be mad if he got the dub here. But if I was betting, I'm going Veretennikov, wherever the fuck he's from. Now we got Timmy Kwama versus Bernardo Sopaj. Sopaj 12-3. 7 TKOs, 3 subs. Coming off a win against Ricky Tercios, the crazy guy who's always doing the hand motions and shit and getting his ass whooped. And I like Ricky. I just feel bad for him because he's having a rough go of it right now. Now we got Timmy Twilight Kwamba, 10-3. Not too familiar with him, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Coming off of 3 UFC wins, 2 UFC wins. Chang Ho Lee, Roberto Romero. They are giving him some low-level guys to start off, so take that back. They gave him Balaji Oki and Lucas Almeida. He lost to both of them in his first 2 UFC fights. And then he got 2 wins. Now he's coming up against Bernardo Sopaj. Ricky Tercios win over Chang Ho Lee and Roberto Romero. I'm going to go with the Tercios one. I got Bernardo Sopaj in this one, guys. Now let's keep it moving. I think we're on the main card now. Yes, I think so. All right, now we have Malcolm Wellmaker versus Juan Diaz. Man, that new guy, Ethan Ewing, who pieced up Wellmaker, that guy's a beast. I fuck with him. Can't wait to see him fight again. But I'm a big fan of Malcolm. I hope he can get it back. I hope he can get things back together. I think he can. I think that loss probably taught him a lot about just expectations and confidence and levels of the game. And I think he probably been working his ass off. But this kid looks like a beast, Juan Diaz. I don't know much about him. Looks jacked. He's got way more fights than Malcolm. But his last win was on the Contender Series last year against Juan Tu Quan. The middle name is Tu. 2 Roman numerals. I don't know who the fuck that is. But yeah, I don't know shit about him. He's got grappling shit. Oh, fuck. He's got a bunch of grappling shits. Holy shit. Rear naked choke. Oh shit, rear naked choke. Oh shit. You know what, guys? I'm gonna backtrack. I think Malcolm's still too green in the grappling and stuff, and I don't think anybody's checked him there. And I think this kid Juan Diaz is probably gonna be hungry as fuck. It's his debut in the UFC. He sees that somebody just destroyed Malcolm. He's probably gonna have confidence and momentum. And I think that there might be a little bit of doubt creeping in for Malcolm. I really need new glasses, guys. I stepped on these on accident one night, and now they just never sit straight. And that's life. That's life. That's what people say. Anyway, I got Juan Diaz, but I hope Malcolm gets it done, 'cause I fuck with Malcolm. Yes, I do. Dude's clean as fuck, and he throws power. Right. Then we have Doo-ho Choi, the Korean Superboy, who's 35 years old. He is a man. Still calling himself a boy, Superboy. Whatever, bud. You're older than me. He does look younger than me, though. Of course he does. I look old as shit. Anyway, Daniel Santos. Let's see what's going on. Oh, he's that guy with the big head. Yeah, he's good. Wiley Cat. 6 KOs, 2 subs. Oh, yeah, he's coming off a back to back. It just beat 2 Korean boys. So now they're giving him the Super Korean boy. Can he pass the test? I don't know. I mean, he does have a noggin on him. Dude has got a head that is built for taking punches, but Korean Superboy comes to bang, 13 KOs. He's always fun. He just destroyed Nate Landwehr, Bill Algeo, decision Kyle Nelson. Lost to Charles Jourdain. That's my favorite fighter at bantamweight now. Charles Jourdain. I hope he becomes championship. Shout out to Frenchie. R.I.P. No spoilers if you're a boys fan, but yeah, that was fucked. Anyways, yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Doo-ho Choi in the co-main event. Now, this main event, very interesting. Probably the only interesting fight on this card. I'm just kidding. They're all good. Everybody needs to start somewhere, right, guys? And I'm sure these guys are going to put on some great fights because it's their first opportunities to perform in the UFC on the biggest stage. So let's hope that they perform. Anyways, 20-4, Arnold Almighty Allen. Coming off of that loss to Jean Silva. Then he beat Giga Chikadze. Then he lost to Movzar and Max. Then he beat Cater, Hooker, Sadiq, going backwards, of course. Great wins, great stuff. Arnold's really good. He just seems to lose barely when he does lose. But it's like hype. I got this Mexicozo Costa. I think I'm just riding this hype train. This dude's a beast every time I see him, the Dalmatian. His striking's phenomenal. He's shown to be really good on the ground. Great back takes, good back control. And his kicks are just sick, man. He's nasty. I'm going to go with the youth over, I think, Arnold. I love him. I'd feel bad if he loses because I'd love to see him become champ. He's just a humble, nice, normal dude. But I think momentum is everything in this sport. And Melchizedek. God damn it, I can't say it right. Melchizedek. Melquizael Costa. There we go. Melquizael Costa. Yeah, he's on the rise. I think he's going straight to a championship title fight. God, I'm tired. Sorry, guys. I know this episode is probably not as crisp and clean and fun as the last one, but we're here. That's what counts. And I got Melziquez Costa, and that's been the whole fights and breakdowns. And now some quick afterthoughts before we close here. I will probably tune in for the Mike Perry, Nate Diaz fights. Of course I will. And the Francis Ngannou fight. And obviously the Ronda Rousey and Gina Carano fight, just because, got to see what happens. Ronda's going to armbar probably the first round, but she might toy with her and try to fool us that it's competitive for a round before she snaps her arm, but it's going to be hard to do. I mean, 17 years, no fighting, and you were like crazy overweight. I love Gina as an actress, but she was never really elite as a fight. It's just crazy that they think this is, they're trying to make this to be something crazy when it's like, okay, I guess. I think you would have done way better putting Nate and Mike on the main event, or Francis, obviously. But then you got Felipe Lins, the sacrificial lamb. I mean, does anybody think he has a chance against Francis? I don't. Not a single fucking chance. But yeah, that, and then one more thing, Ariel Hawani. Dude is so annoying. I made a little short, and I was kind of rude. I was using some bad language. I say, you know what? I don't want to get views that way. I want to be myself. But yeah, it needs to be said. Dude is so fucking annoying. Like that whole shit, talking shit about Sean for apologizing, and you don't do that. You don't go back and talk about people's family and religion. You don't do things like that. And then to say, oh, I did it all to sell a fight. It doesn't work that way. Like, bro, yeah, it does. You know why? Because that's what the fuck Sean did. And that's how the fuck it went. And there ain't shit you can do but cry about it. He just always has to have some reason to insert himself on every fucking major card so he can get people to watch his show, which seems to be fucking failing. I think he was like in the millions at ESPN or some shit. Now his show's got like 300, 500K. I don't even have a single K, but hey, that's the good thing about this country. Freedom of speech. You can talk shit about whoever you want. And I'm not trying to be vulgar, but Ariel is a fucking shill. And yeah, shit's annoying. I've watched him for years, but he's always trying to like. And then that thing with Francis, he's like, "What are you gonna say to John Jones at the press conference for the MVP thing?" And Francis is like, "That's between me and John." And Ariel's like, "Oh, but I wanted to know. I wanted to know. Could you tell me?" Like, bro, he asks questions he knows people aren't gonna answer, like just to try to get the views, just to try to get the headlines. And when he was doing that whole fake apology about Sean Strickland, you could tell he just was eating that shit up. Loved every minute of it. He's such a fucking predictable ass. But he's a journalist, right? He has to do that. He has to be that way. No, you don't, bro. I can't believe this team of guys like GC and those New York Rick guys probably fucking hate Ariel secretly. They're probably like, oh shit, here goes Ariel again, making the fight week, somehow making himself a part of the storyline. Like, bro, you don't fight, you don't do shit. Shut your fucking mouth and respect all the fighters, even the ones you disagree with. You don't have to share your every single disagreement with every single fighter like anybody gives a fuck. People don't give a fuck. And that's it. All right. Thanks for watching. That was episode 5, I think. Let me check. Yep, alright. This was episode 5 of the Fight Fan Foe Show. I'm your host, Foe. And that was my UFC Fight Night Allen versus Costa breakdown and thoughts episode video. Like, subscribe if you want to see, if you want to ride with me for this journey. It's going super slow, but we're going steady. Let's go for 100 views. That's the new goal. Anyway, I'm going to keep doing it, whether the shit works out or not. So, fucking help me, please. It's all good. Peace.